A single sentence can contain more wisdom than entire books. Throughout history, philosophers distilled profound truths into brief proverbs that pierce through complexity and touch something essential in the human experience. Today, I'm sharing 8 philosophical proverbs so profound they'll shift how you see yourself, your problems, and your life, if you really sit with them. The ancient masters understood something we've forgotten in our age of information overload. Wisdom isn't about quantity of words but quality of insight. A well-crafted proverb can do more than 1,000 pages of explanation. These 8 proverbs come from Stoic philosophers, Zen masters, and ancient wisdom traditions. But they're not just historical curiosities, each one contains practical wisdom that applies directly to the challenges you face today. If you're ready for ideas that challenge your assumptions and expand your perspective, subscribe now. These aren't feel-good quotes, they're philosophical depth charges designed to make you think deeply about what really matters. Proverb 1, The obstacle is the way, Marcus Aurelius. The first proverb comes from the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Most people see obstacles as things blocking their path to success. The obstacle is the enemy preventing them from getting what they want. But Marcus Aurelius reveals a profound inversion: the obstacle isn't blocking the path, it is the path. Think about it deeply. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to develop the exact qualities you need for your journey. Facing difficult people. That's where you learn patience and communication. Experiencing failure. That's where you develop resilience and wisdom. Dealing with loss. That's where you discover your deeper strength. The obstacle isn't interrupting your development. It's the mechanism of your development. Without resistance, there's no growth. Without challenges, there's no strength building. Without difficulties, there's no wisdom to gain. This completely reframes how you approach problems. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this here to teach me?" The same situation, different question, totally different experience. A practical example: you lose your job. The obstacle mindset: this is terrible, I'm stuck. The way mindset: this is forcing me to reevaluate my career, develop new skills, or pursue the path I was too comfortable to take before. The obstacle is revealing the way forward. Why this makes you think: it inverts your entire relationship with difficulty. Suddenly nothing is wasted. Every challenge becomes curriculum. Every obstacle becomes teacher. Your problems transform from enemies into allies in your development. Proverb 2, Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, Zen saying. The second proverb is a classic Zen teaching: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. This seems simple, even boring. You do the same tasks before and after enlightenment. Where's the transformation? But sit with this, and it reveals something profound about the nature of spiritual awakening. Most people think enlightenment means transcending ordinary life. Floating above mundane concerns, living in some special state where chopping wood and carrying water are beneath you. But Zen reveals the opposite: enlightenment is realizing the profound in the mundane, the sacred in the ordinary. The tasks don't change. Your relationship to them does. Before enlightenment, you chop wood while wishing you were somewhere else, doing something more important, waiting for life to really begin. After enlightenment, you chop wood completely present, finding the fullness of existence in this simple action. The deeper teaching: spiritual awakening doesn't remove you from life, it brings you fully into it. It's not about achieving some special state where normal responsibilities disappear. It's about discovering that washing dishes, paying bills, working, and living ordinary life can be done with complete presence and peace. This destroys spiritual bypassing, the idea that true spirituality means escaping earthly concerns. Real awakening means being fully here for whatever is, including the mundane. It's finding freedom within ordinary life, not freedom from it. Why this makes you think: It challenges the belief that your life will be better when circumstances change. It suggests that the transformation you seek isn't in external conditions but in your presence with what already is. Enlightenment isn't somewhere else, it's right here, chopping wood. Proverb 3, Know thyself, inscribed at Delphi. The third proverb was inscribed at the ancient Greek temple of Apollo at Delphi, Know thyself, considered by Socrates to be the foundation of all wisdom. This seems obvious. Of course you should know yourself. But how deeply have you actually examined who you are beneath your social masks, habitual patterns, and learned behaviors? Most people don't know themselves, they know their self-image. They know the story they tell about themselves. They know their preferred identity. But underneath all that, what are they actually? What drives them? What fears control them? What unconscious patterns determine their choices? Socrates devoted his life to this principle. He questioned everything, especially himself. The unexamined life is not worth living, he taught. Because without self-knowledge, you're simply acting out unconscious programming, reacting based on conditioning you didn't choose and don't understand. The deeper you look, the more layers you discover. First, you see your conscious personality, who you think you are. Then you discover your shadow, the parts you've rejected and denied. Then you might glimpse the awareness that observes all of this, what the Zen masters call your true nature. This isn't just philosophical navel-gazing. Practical self-knowledge is the foundation of wise action. When you know your triggers, you're not controlled by them. When you understand your motivations, you can choose consciously. When you see your patterns, you can change them. Why this makes you think, it reveals that most of what you think is you might be unexamined conditioning. Your preferences, opinions, reactions, are they really yours, or are they inherited from culture, family, and past experiences? True self-knowledge is radical and liberating. Proverb 4, Those who know do not speak, those who speak do not know, Lao Tzu. The fourth proverb comes from Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. This is deliciously paradoxical. If it's true, then Lao Tzu speaking these words proves he doesn't know. But this paradox is intentional, it's pointing at something beyond the words themselves. The teaching is about the limitations of language in capturing truth. The deepest truths, the nature of consciousness, the essence of existence, the meaning of life, can be experienced but never fully articulated. The moment you try to completely capture them in words, something essential is lost. Think about profound experiences you've had. Falling in love. Witnessing birth or death. Moments of transcendence. Can you fully explain them? The explanation always falls short of the actual experience. Those who truly know this recognize the limits of language and speak with humility, using words as pointers rather than containers. Those who don't know this speak with absolute certainty, mistaking their concepts for reality itself. This also reveals the paradox of expertise. The more you genuinely know about something, the more you realize how much you don't know. True masters speak with qualifications, nuances, and acknowledgement of complexity. Frauds speak with absolute certainty about things they've barely understood. Why this makes you think? It challenges our culture's obsession with having opinions about everything and expressing them loudly. Maybe wisdom sometimes looks like silence. Maybe the smartest response is, I don't know. Maybe the deepest truths can't be tweeted. Proverb 5, Man is condemned to be free, Jean-Paul Sartre. The fifth proverb comes from existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, Man is condemned to be free. This sounds contradictory. How can freedom be a condemnation? Isn't freedom what we all seek? But Sartre reveals the terrifying weight of absolute freedom. You're not just free, you're condemned to freedom. You can't escape it. You must choose. Even not choosing is a choice. Even following others' commands is your choice to obey. You bear total responsibility for your existence with no excuses, no one to blame, no external authority to hide behind. This is what Sartre called radical freedom. You're not just free to do what you want within constraints. You're free to define what your life means, what values matter, what kind of person you'll be. And this freedom is absolute and inescapable. Most people run from this freedom through what Sartre called bad faith, pretending they don't have choices they actually have. I had no choice. Society made me do it. It's just who I am. These are lies we tell to escape the weight of freedom. The burden is that you can't blame circumstances, genetics, upbringing, or society. Yes, these influence you, but ultimately you choose how to respond to them. You're the author of your life, which means you're responsible for what you write. Why this makes you think, it destroys all your excuses. Every "I had to" becomes "I chose to." Every "I can't" becomes "I'm not willing to pay the price." Every "they made me" becomes "I allowed them to." This is terrifying and liberating in equal measure. Proverb 6, "The only way out is through." Robert Frost. The sixth proverb, often attributed to poet Robert Frost, states simply, "The only way out is through." We spend enormous energy trying to go around our problems, avoid our pain, escape our difficulties. We distract, numb, deny, and delay. But this proverb reveals a hard truth: the way out is through the middle of what you're avoiding. That grief you're suppressing. The only way to the other side of it is to feel it completely. That difficult conversation you're postponing. The only way past it is to have it. That fear that's holding you back. The only way beyond it is to walk directly into it. The Buddhists have a similar teaching: the way out is in. You don't escape suffering by running from it but by turning toward it, examining it, understanding its nature. What you avoid grows in the dark. What you face transforms in the light. This applies to everything. Want to overcome social anxiety? You have to endure social situations that trigger it. Want to heal from trauma? You have to process the painful memories, not just bury them. Want to build courage? You have to do things that scare you. There's no shortcut, no way around, no escape hatch. The territory you most want to avoid is exactly the territory you must cross to get where you want to go. Every detour just delays the inevitable confrontation. Why this makes you think, it ends the fantasy that you can somehow skip the hard parts. Whatever you're avoiding in your life, that's exactly where you need to go. The exit sign is on the far side of the thing you least want to face. Proverbs 7, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Seneca. The seventh proverb comes from Stoic philosopher Seneca: "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about how much of your suffering happens in your mind about things that haven't happened and likely never will. You catastrophize about the future. You ruminate about the past. You imagine worst-case scenarios. And in imagining them, you suffer as if they're real. Seneca observed that most of what we dread never occurs. And when difficulties do occur, they're rarely as terrible as we imagined. But in the meantime, we've tortured ourselves with anticipatory anxiety about disasters that exist only in thought. This isn't minimizing real suffering. Actual pain, loss, and hardship are real. But Seneca points out that we add layers of mental suffering on top of reality. We suffer the event itself, plus our thoughts about it, plus our imagined future consequences, plus our stories about what it means. The Buddha taught something similar: there's pain, unavoidable, and suffering, the mental story we add. You can't avoid all pain, but you can reduce suffering by not catastrophizing, ruminating, or creating elaborate narratives about why pain shouldn't be happening. Modern psychology confirms this: anxiety is largely about feared futures that never materialize. Depression is often about ruminating on past events or current situations. Most mental suffering is time traveling, to imagine futures or remembered pasts, rather than dealing with actual present reality. Why this makes you think, it reveals that your mind is often your biggest problem. The actual present moment is usually manageable. It's your thoughts about past and future that create most suffering. What if you could stay with what's actually happening instead of the stories about it? Proverb 8, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle, often attributed to Plato. The eighth and final proverb, often attributed to Plato though its exact origin is debated, be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. This simple statement contains a profound perspective shift. That person who cut you off in traffic? They might be rushing to the hospital. That rude cashier might be dealing with a sick parent. That colleague who snapped at you might be in the middle of a divorce you know nothing about. Everyone is carrying burdens you can't see. Everyone has pain they're managing. Everyone is dealing with challenges, losses, fears, and struggles that are invisible to you. Behind every face is an entire universe of experience, much of it difficult. This doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it contextualizes it. It shifts you from judgment to compassion, from taking things personally to recognizing that most behavior is about the other person's inner state, not about you. The Buddhist practice of metta, loving kindness, is built on this recognition. When you remember that everyone is struggling in some way, kindness becomes natural. Not because people deserve it based on their behavior, but because suffering calls for compassion. This also applies to yourself. You're fighting a hard battle too. The harsh judgment you direct at yourself for your failures and flaws, would you speak that way to someone else fighting their own hard battle? Extend to yourself the kindness you'd offer others. Why this makes you think, it breaks down the wall between self and other. Their battle is like your battle. Your struggle is like their struggle. This recognition doesn't just make you kinder, it makes you more human, more connected, more aware that we're all in this together. Wisdom in action. These 8 proverbs aren't just interesting ideas to contemplate, they're practical wisdom you can apply immediately. When you face an obstacle, remember, the obstacle is the way. When daily life feels mundane, remember, before and after enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. When you're confused about decisions, remember, know thyself. When you're tempted to speak with certainty about what you barely understand, remember, those who know do not speak. When you feel trapped by circumstances, remember, you're condemned to be free. When you want to avoid difficulty, remember, the only way out is through. When anxiety about the future grips you, remember, we suffer more in imagination than reality. And in all interactions, remember, everyone is fighting a hard battle. These proverbs work together. Self-knowledge helps you exercise your freedom wisely. Understanding that the way out is through helps you face obstacles as the way. Recognizing imagined suffering helps you stay present to chop wood and carry water. Remembering everyone's hard battles helps you speak less and listen more. The goal isn't to memorize these proverbs but to embody them. Let them change not just what you think but how you see, how you respond, how you live. Conclusion. Philosophy isn't just academic study, it's practical wisdom for living well. These 8 proverbs, distilled from centuries of human contemplation, offer guidance that's as relevant today as when they were first spoken. Marcus Aurelius faced obstacles. The Zen masters chopped wood. Socrates examined himself. Lao Tzu recognized the limits of words. Sartre confronted freedom's weight. Robert Frost walked through difficulty. Seneca observed mental suffering. And anonymous wisdom recognized universal struggle. Their insights become yours when you don't just read them but contemplate them, question them, test them in your actual life. A proverb you truly understand becomes part of how you see the world. It's no longer just an idea. It's a lens through which reality reveals itself differently. Take these 8 proverbs and sit with them. 1 per week for 8 weeks. Don't just think about them, look for them in your daily experience. Notice when the obstacle becomes the way. Observe when you suffer in imagination. Recognize when the way out requires going through. Philosophy is meant to be lived, not just studied. These proverbs are invitations to a different way of being in the world, more aware, more wise, more free. If these proverbs made you think deeply about life, wisdom, and how you're living, show your appreciation with a like and subscribe for more philosophical wisdom that challenges assumptions and expands perspectives. Your contemplation: which of these 8 proverbs hit you hardest? Drop the number, 1 to 8, in the comments and share one sentence on why it resonated. Let's see which wisdom calls to different people. And remember, a single truth deeply understood can change your life more than 1,000 facts superficially known. Choose one of these proverbs and let it work on you. Until next time, think deeply, live wisely, and remember that ancient wisdom speaks to eternal questions that each generation must answer anew.